Your child can't focus, melts down over their socks, and shuts down in loud places. The school says it might be ADHD. Another parent mentions sensory processing disorder. Your pediatrician isn't sure, and you're sitting there wondering, what is actually going on with my kid? You're not alone, and the answer might surprise you. I'm Dr. Steve Lako with Lako Family Chiropractic, a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor in Roswell, Georgia. Today, we're breaking down one of the most common questions I hear from parents. What's the difference between ADHD and sensory processing challenges? Because they look almost identical from the outside, they often get confused for each other and they frequently show up together. So let's clear this up. Let's start with why this is such a confusing topic in the first place. A child with ADHD is impulsive, distracted, struggles to sit still, has big emotional reactions, and has a hard time transitioning between tasks. A child with sensory processing challenges is also impulsive, distracted, struggles to sit still, has big emotional reactions, and has a hard time transitioning between tasks as well. On the surface, they look almost identical, and that's exactly why parents, teachers, and even clinicians get them mixed up. If you're watching a child struggle in a classroom, you can't always tell just by looking whether it's ADHD, sensory processing, or both. The difference isn't always in what the behavior looks like, it's in what's driving it. Let's define ADHD first. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, is a condition where the brain has difficulty regulating attention, impulse control, and activity levels. Kids with ADHD struggle to filter out distractions, stay on task, wait their turn, and slow down their thinking and their body. But as we talked about in a previous video, ADHD is fundamentally a nervous system regulation issue. The brain's ability to shift between states like focus and calm, alert and engaged, isn't working the way it should. It's not a character flaw. It's not bad parenting. It's a nervous system that isn't regulating itself effectively. ADHD tends to be consistent across environments. Your child struggles with focus at home, at school, at the dinner table, at the grandparents' house. The struggle travels with them because it's internal. Now let's talk about sensory processing. Every single one of us processes sensory input all day long. Touch, sound, light, movement, taste, smell, and even our sense of where our body is in space. For most people, the nervous system filters this input automatically and mostly in the background. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about the feeling of your shirt against your skin because your brain learned to tune it out. For kids with sensory processing challenges, that filtering system doesn't work as efficiently. Their nervous system either over-registers sensory input, meaning everything feels louder, brighter, more intense than it should, or under-registers it, meaning they need more input to feel regulated and grounded. A child who over-registers might fall apart because of a tag in their shirt or refuse to eat certain textures, cover their ears in environments that seem normal to everyone else, or completely shut down in a busy classroom. Their nervous system is flooded. A child who under-registers, they might seek out intense sensory experiences, crashing into things, touching everything, never seeming to be able to sit still. Their nervous system is hungry for more input. And here's the key distinction. Their behavior is being driven by the environment. Change the environment, reduce the sensory load, and often the behavior shifts. That's different from ADHD, where the struggle is largely internal and consistent regardless of environment. Here's where I want to slow things down because this is the part that trips everyone up. ADHD and sensory processing challenges are not mutually exclusive. Research suggests that somewhere between 40 and 60% of kids with ADHD also have significant sensory processing challenges. They co-occur constantly. Why? Because they share a common root: nervous system dysregulation. Both ADHD and sensory processing challenges reflect a nervous system that is struggling to regulate itself, to filter input, to shift between states, to stay calm and organized in the face of demands. The expression looks different, but the underlying story is often the same. This is why it's so important not to just chase the diagnosis. A diagnosis tells you what to call something. It doesn't always tell you what to do about it. Two kids can both have ADHD diagnosis and have completely different nervous system profiles. One might be primarily attention-driven. The other might be managing a flood of sensory input that makes focus impossible. The intervention that helps one might barely touch the other. So as a parent, what does this actually mean for you? First, Observe your child's triggers. Does the behavior ramp up in noisy, chaotic, visually busy environments? Does it improve significantly with more structure, less stimulation, and more predictability? That's a strong sign that sensory processing is a major player. Second, look at the whole picture. Is your child also struggling with sleep, with emotional regulation, with transitions? These are all nervous system signatures. The more of these you see, the more you're looking at a child whose nervous system needs support across the board, not just a behavioral intervention. And third, don't feel like you have to choose a lane. ADHD support and sensory support are not in opposition. Occupational therapy is one of the most powerful tools available for sensory processing challenges, and it pairs beautifully with other nervous system support. And from a chiropractic perspective, what we're doing in the office is working directly with the nervous system, helping it move out of chronic stress response so it has a better chance of regulating incoming sensory information and sustaining attention. That's why chiropractic and OT work so well together. Parents frequently tell us that after starting care, their child seems less reactive, sleeps better, and is easier to redirect, not because we adjusted away a diagnosis, but because a calmer nervous system, a more regulated nervous system that's working optimally, is just simply better at doing all of those things. ADHD and sensory processing challenges are two different expressions of the same underlying challenge, a nervous system that needs more support than is currently getting. You don't need a perfect diagnosis to start helping your child. You need a framework for understanding what their nervous system is telling you. And I hope this gave you a little more of that today. If you have a child who's navigating either of these or both, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video was helpful, share it with a parent who's in the middle of trying to figure all of this out. I know it can be a lot, because the right information at the right time can genuinely change a family's path.